Let's bring in Senate Appropriations Committee member from North Dakota, John Hoeven. Senator, great to see you tonight. I know that you're grieving the loss of a dear colleague, and that's the right thing to do. Of course, everyone's looking ahead to what comes next and how do you get the work of the Senate done. And there's just no question that Lindsey Graham was an absolute workhorse, somebody who made things happen, and you will not have the benefit of his services. How do you get what I think are very big things done? Reconciliation 3.0, Save America Act. You got a whole bunch of people to confirm. How do you get all that done without such a key member, Senator?
Well, first off, we're going to miss Lindsey very much. He was a real friend, and you just can't replace him. And so there's a lot of sad folks up here on both sides of the aisle. He's really a triple threat. I mean, he had great rapport with everybody on our Republican caucus. He could work with the Democrats, and of course, you know how close he was with President Trump. And the other thing I would say, it's almost like President Trump was able to make one more call to Lindsey after he died. You know, he was talking to him just shortly before he passed away because of the heart attack. But it's almost like he had one more call where they talked about who should replace him in the Senate, and they agreed it would be Darlene. And that's absolutely the thing to do. And obviously, we're very pleased about that, and our appreciation to Governor McMaster for doing it. That being said, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of work to do, and we need to get after it. And I hope, as I said, with Lindsey, the Democrats, they liked him. Obviously, they didn't always agree with him. But I hope, you know, now we can take a look, and our colleagues on the other side of the aisle say, you know, maybe they need to work with us a little bit to get some of these things done that you just enumerated.
Senator, one thing that never seems to be on the agenda is cutting spending. And with Ron Johnson, the senator from Wisconsin, expected to take over for Lindsey Graham on the Budget Committee, why isn't that the case? Will that change? And I only point that out today because we found out that for the month of June, that the interest on our national debt was more than $185 billion. So far this fiscal year, so 3/4 into the fiscal year, the interest on the national debt is $1.05 trillion. It's up 14% from the same period in fiscal 2025. And in fact, it is equal to almost half of the private or income taxes that have been collected. So think about, to the American people, almost half of the income taxes they pay goes to just pay the interest on the debt.
Right, and for all those reasons, it's so important that we get our debt and deficit under control. I think Ron John, obviously, as you know, is very focused on that, and will bring that focus to the job as our budget chair. So as far as Recon 3.0, I think we're going to have offsets, and the work has already started on that. At the same time, we have to find other ways to reduce spending as we work to on the appropes and get ACR or whatever we're going to have in place to make sure we don't have a shutdown. Third thing I would say is look at what's happening with the work on reducing waste, fraud, and abuse. We not only made real reforms in the One Big Beautiful Bill that are going to save hundreds of billions of dollars, but this focus now on waste, fraud, and abuse, I believe, has real potential to start getting at just what you're saying, and that's reducing spending. And you're absolutely right. We need to do it.
All right, I got to ask you about this before we let you go. Before the August reset, the Senate is moving to hold confirmation hearings for a slew of nominees, most notably this Wednesday, Todd Blanche for Attorney General and Jay Clayton for Director of National Intelligence. So you got the current balance of power. It only take one Republican voting no on the nominees to deadlock the confirmation. Senator, I don't have to tell you, you got a few colleagues in there who've been, you know, they've been a little tough on some of these nominations getting through. Is their colleagues passing going to break that deadlock? I hate to say it, but where do Tom Tillis and John Cornyn stand on this stuff?
So we're going to have the hearings Wednesday and Thursday this week. I think we get them through. I think in the case of Jay Clayton, he goes through on a party line. In the case of Todd Blanche, he is getting around and talking to some of those members that you mentioned who have expressed reservations. He is very effective. I've talked to some of those senators after he's met with them, and I've talked to him after he's met with them, and it's going well. So I'm optimistic.
like a Bill Cassidy is going to get on board, maybe Senator John Hoeven.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's really spending time sitting down and talking to him, and it does make a difference. And I think ultimately he's going to get there, yes.
Senator John Hoeven, a pleasure, sir. Please come back.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.